your host.
Welcome to Stars in the City. I am your host, Denise Meadows, and also we're a new podcast. We're going to be interviewing uh, ordinary community members and residents that have done extraordinary things and really have achieved things that are extraordinary. And maybe they haven't made it to the bigger platforms, but they are just as big as the stars. So that's why we're called Stars in the City. So we'll be coming to your city soon, probably not in person, but we will be interviewing. So if you know someone that has done something extraordinary in your city, your community, your family, no matter what it is, a great obstacle, above and beyond, that's motivated, been a plus to the community, please reach out to us. Reach out to us. Thank you so much. And I'll be giving you more information on how to reach out to us later on in this taping and this setting. But today, for starters, my very first guest is from my city, Coolidge, Arizona. And excuse my voice. However, I'm new to Coolidge about a year and a half, but she is Coolidge. She has done so many great things in a time when women in her era didn't get that same opportunity. But her determination, her motivation, where I'm going to just tell you a little bit about Miss Gussie. And I want you to know that she has achieved extraordinary things when it was a time that it was really unheard of. So, and it was challenging, especially for a woman of color. Okay? So I want you to know that Miss Gussie is not only a mom, she was a wife, a mom, employed 36 years at Pinell County Sheriff's Office and started out as a dispatcher. Then she went to training coordinator, then a transport officer, computer tech, and detention officer. And also she raised five awesome children. And we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about how she's an awesome volunteer here in the community. She does, wherever you go, you mentioned that name, Miss Gussie. My gosh, everyone knows who she is. From volunteering to where she moved up her career at the sheriff's office to being an awesome mom. And the road wasn't always easy, but her determination, her motivation, and she did the fire in her. She didn't know the word I can't or quit. So I'm going to introduce to you, help me welcome none other than Miss Gussie Taylor. Welcome, Miss Gussie.
Thank you. God bless
Thank you. Thank you. Bless you back. Thank you for taking this time to meet with us and being our first guest.
Appreciate it.
Oh, we are blessed by it. You know, when I moved here, I was going to all over the Chamber of Commerce. I wanted to know more about my city. A small town, I think it's about 12 to 15,000. Miss Gussie, when you hear the name Coolidge, what comes to mind?
Home. It's my
Home?
home. Yeah, that's where I was raised. And that's where I attended school, right here in Coolidge, Arizona. Yep, one of the two natives of Coolidge.
How does that feel like looking back now?
It feels great. That's part of the reason why I moved back, because I was such a blessing living here, and I wanted my children to experience that also, being in a smaller city. And I really appreciate it. I appreciate what I've learned and what I have done here. What the doors has been open for me since coming back to Coolidge. When I grew up here. It was not in the city. We lived right outside the city on a farm, but we came to Coolidge, the city, to school, and we went to a community of Randolph for church. So we had friends in the city and outside the city. Had a large family. There was 10 children there,
Wow.
and we was all we had. So we just loved on each other. We just played with each other. We just learned from each other, and it was such a, I mean, it was such a blessed time to be there with my siblings and growing up the way we were. My dad, he worked on the farm, and he just, it was just amazing. And on
Wow.
weekends after church, a lot of the children would come home with us on Sunday afternoons and have a good time with us. And it was just once wonderful living here in Coolidge as a child. I loved it. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Wow.
Yes,
That
yes.
just sounds, it just sounds inviting. It sounds like something you don't see that much anymore. Um, how many siblings did you have and where did you fall in that number?
Well, I actually now there's 20. There was 20 siblings, and I was number three. I had an older brother and an older sister, and I was number three. And I just love being a part of that family.
Wow. Did you guys all grow up in the same house?
Oh yeah, of course they didn't have large houses like they do now. So of course we all had to sleep in one room. So we was a
Yes.
lot closer than the children are now together.
Yes.
And I also remember, uh, we had a front porch, and at nights we spread the blankets out on the front porch and listened to Dad's stories and told us about his childhood. And it was just such a blessing. I mean, the family. We were just family. We just
Right.
all we knew was love. We just
Wow.
loved each other and just loved everything about being being together.
And it sounds like your dad did a lot of the raising. And did he instill like that motivation, that determination that we're going to talk about later, and how you achieved your career goals and going up the ladder and you're at the sheriff's office?
Hmm.
What was life like with your father?
Well, my father, he was a deacon in the church. He was a praying man, and at nights when he was on irrigation and he come home early in the morning before we got up for school, and he would come in and he would pray, and I mean the house just rocked. I mean, I never had to use a alarm clock. He was my alarm. He woke me up with the
Okay.
prayer, and it was just such a loving because he and my mom, they was divorced when I was at age 11, and I was a daddy's girl because I took care of all the bills and everything after she left. And so it was made it easier for me later in life because I knew how to run a household. I learned that at a very early age, and it just,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay. How did it impact your life, like being raised by your dad mainly, only?
I couldn't ask since since my marriages didn't work, and one thing I came to realize that sometimes it's okay to be raised by one family, especially when the two sides don't agree. And the
Okay.
kids, it can be confusing for the
Hmm.
kids. So I believe, that's okay in some
There you
situations for
go.
just to have one parent in the house.
Wow. And so,
Yes,
like, who taught you like young lady things? Like,
we had women's at the church, and there was one in particular I always looked up to her. It was two of them, but one of them because we was raised with their children in the church,
okay,
and I just learned so much from them on the natural side and the spiritual side. And I can remember after my mom had left, and we would, of course, we had to have our hair done, and we had different ones that would do
exactly.
our hair, and one of the mothers that did my hair, and she taught me so much. I really appreciate her taking the time, not just doing the hair, but just instilling so much into me.
Motherly wit, and
Yes,
you felt that
yes,
motherly kinship from her.
absolutely.
I hear it sounds like your faith has played a big part of your life. Tell me about that a little bit.
It does. It did. And we did during that era. Church was every night, and
Hmm.
but even the youth, the children, we went to church on Sunday. We went to Sunday school. We went to evening service called YPWW. Did a night service, and we would even be there late. And it's one thing I appreciate that I noticed that don't happen today is no, regardless of how late the church was, everybody got up and went to school. Now a lot of them won't take their children to church because they got to
Right.
go to school the next day. Come
Yeah.
on now.
Yeah.
Come on now. It's totally different. The mindset of people now,
Yes.
the way
Yes.
they look at it. But my dad, and even on nights when we wasn't required to go, I would still go with my dad because I just love being with my dad, and I
Hmm.
love to hear the teachings from the saints at the church.
Amen.
And then even after church, it was nice because my dad, he had this shotgun, and sometime after church he'd go out in the fields and shoot rabbits and kill rabbits. So I just really enjoyed being with my dad.
Awesome.
Yes,
So that kind of is a big part of your foundation and shaping
absolutely,
you into the young lady you became. So
absolutely.
tell me this, did you like the taste of rabbit?
I'm sure we did.
Yeah.
Because and I know one of the things he would say, because they say rabbits you're supposed to only eat them during certain seasons,
Yes.
and but he say nope, that's not how it goes. You when you kill it, you put the seasoning in it, so it's okay.
Oh, I like the way he did that.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
I've had rabbit. It tastes like chicken, a
Mm.
little greasy, but it was very good.
Hmm.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, in this transition, what was school like? What what was school like? And no one's gonna believe me, but Miss Gussie, can I share your age?
Absolutely.
Miss Gussie is 81 years
81 years old.
old.
Yes,
That's
81.
why this is so amazing. And this is awesome to meet a trailblazer like Miss Gussie. And I think when we get done today, we're all going to be motivated. So if you thought that you couldn't achieve something, even though she did a lot early in her life, she's still doing things.
Mhm.
She's still blazing the trail. So, what was school like for you? Was it segregated here in
Well,
Coolidge?
when I started school, I started early. And my first year at school, it was a segregated school, and it was
Okay.
called Bowery Corner School, where all the black children attended. And after that first year, it was integrated, and we went to Coolidge School with all the other races. It went well, but I got up to the seventh grade, and for some reason, I have always on honor roll. I was but for some reason, while I was in the seventh grade, there was this teacher. I could call his name because I that it really what happened when it was time for me to be promoted. Well, he told the principal that I was too young to be promoted, so I was held back in the seventh grade for 2 years, and
Mm,
then I was promoted to the eighth grade, and it happened again. I was held back and did eighth grade 2 years. And one of the things that really bothered me too is when I was at Bowery Corner School, one thing they really emphasized was our penmanship and our spelling. And
okay.
I mean, I could spell because they taught us how to sound the words out. And so I really knew
Yes.
my words. You could give me a word and I could sound it out and I could spell it for you. And I remember in seventh grade, and it was another young lady who was in seventh grade, and he had a spelling bee, and the three people left was me and this young lady in the same grade, and she had a sister in the
Okay.
fifth grade, and we was the last three left. Lo and behold, and I had sense enough to realize what they was doing. they would give them the easy words, and they would give me the longer, harder
Mm-hmm.
words, but they didn't know I was taught in Bury Corner School. And I
Okay.
sounded out and I spelled it correctly. And finally, the young lady in the fifth grade, she finally missed a word. So it was just me and the other girl at my age level, my class level. And so after that happened, I just did on purpose, just missed it because I didn't want this little young lady to be like, above me. I just had to stay there because I knew
Mm-hmm.
even with just us two left that they was gonna make it easy for her. So I just yeah,
Wow.
I did it on purpose. I misspelled the
So you
word.
got
So
second
yeah,
place.
I got second place.
Do they honor you for that?
They only honor first place people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now it's different.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's different now. That yeah, yeah. We looked at a lot different than we were back then.
So did you do sports?
Oh, absolutely. And not just in sports at the school, but we also had a summer league, and also because I was real good in sports,
Okay.
and in our summer league, we in baseball we would go to Phoenix and play other schools, and we play other communities. Every week I got a home run because
Wow.
there was a cafe, someplace that gave out a free ice cream or something whenever you
Mm-hmm.
got this card when you hit a home run. I always had them. And I did
Wow.
track. I was actually the number one black female, the number one sports person in Coolidge schools. And I remember we attended a state track meet and it was held at the Coolidge
Okay.
schools. And oh, I always remember that one because doing the trials, we was in this heat, and just as before it got to the finish line, a big dog crossed the field. He stopped right there in front of
Wow.
me, and I stumbled over him and fell, but I got up and I ran, and but I my time was good enough to
Okay.
where I qualified for the finals. During the finals, who came first? I came in first place. The timekeeper told me, "Oh, you just set a new state record." That was the only person ever mentioned to me. The school never acknowledged it. I never heard it from anybody. So
When you went back to school, they didn't
I
all
nobody.
congratulate
No, no,
you.
nope, nope, nope. I only
Was it
heard.
integrated?
it
Was it integrated or all African?
it was integrated schools. It was
So,
schools from all around the state that
but the
was
school
there.
you attended, was it an integrated
No,
school?
it's Coolidge High School. It was
Oh, so you,
integrated.
yes, it was.
Yes.
So they still hadn't came up to that point yet.
No, absolutely not. Nope,
Even
nope.
though the administration was like that, speaking and just switching lanes, when I think about integration, because I think I'm born right out of it. I'm
Okay.
born in the 60s.
Okay.
So, and I lived in a neighborhood where I had to go to school where it was all white or
Okay.
Caucasian. And
Mhm.
then I was bused with them to the black schools. So, in a neighborhood in South Phoenix that you had
Okay.
to, qualify to live in.
Okay.
So, even though the staff was like that and the administration, how was it going to school and getting along with your peers? Were they like that too?
I had no problem with them because for some reason I don't know, I was people were drawn to me. And usually, when there was some
I
type of
can see
club and
that.
organization, I was always voted in. And in just about everyone, I was nominated to be the treasurer. So I must have had a honest face, because I was always nominated to be the treasurer, secretary, and I always held a position. Yeah.
What do you think it was about you that you just have that favor in you? I call it. What was it that drew people to you?
God, and that's the only way I knew. And my dad, for a time, he would mow lawns in different
Okay.
in the neighborhood. And I remember one family, he would mow their lawn, and their daughters attended school there with me. And when he came to work there, they asked him to bring me, and we would play. You know, we
Wow.
grew up and I would have graduated the same year they did, and I even now attend their class reunions, the 1962 class
Yes.
reunions, because they remembered me from all the years I was there at Coolidge Schools. And
Wow. And
yeah.
it's still there.
Mhm.
Wow. So let's transition. Um, I know you were married.
Mhm.
And after high school, did you get married right out of, because
Not.
the way we were taught as
Mhm.
young women, even me, that was something that I had my goals and dreams, but the main one was I wanted to go to college, but then it was marriage.
Mhm. Mhm.
Nowadays it's different. Women know
Yeah.
that they can have their career and they
Mhm.
don't have to get married. It's not
Mhm.
you're not frowned upon if you
Right.
don't.
Right.
So, as a teenager, did you still stay very involved in school, or did you get married right out of school?
I didn't get married right out of school because I moved to Phoenix, and it was just the environment I was in. I wanted to change the environment, and that's kind of reason. It wasn't the right reason, but that's the way it happened. Because at that time, I didn't have a real job, and I just wanted to try to do something different, and it didn't work out, but it did for me in the long run.
Okay. Did you get married in Phoenix or in
Oh no, that was
Coolidge?
in Phoenix. Oh no, that was
Oh.
yeah. And I tell a lot of people. I say, yeah, I lived in Phoenix for 10 years, but after two marriages and two failed marriages and four kids, I'd say Phoenix is not for me. So that's when I moved back to Coolidge. When I came back to Coolidge, well, matter of fact, when I was in Phoenix and things wasn't working out for me, I attended uh, the Maricopa Technical
Mm,
College, and I received my GED, and I
okay.
did get some good jobs. I mean, I landed some good jobs, and I'm proud of that. I worked for the city, and then I worked for the state. I worked for the Small Business Administration for
Mm,
EEOC
yes.
before I moved back to.
Oh, that was in
That
Phoenix.
was in Phoenix. Yeah,
Okay, but
yeah,
your heart was still here in
yeah,
Coolidge.
yeah,
You
and
felt
then.
like this was your best blessed place.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, and after when I left EELC and when I moved back to Coolidge, and then I was working as a teacher's aide in the school system
Here in Coolidge.
here in Coolidge, and that was the first year back. And after that, school was out. It's summertime,
Mm-hmm.
the kids out of school. I headed back to Phoenix, but when I left the job and I went looking for seeking employment, and I went down to the employment office and they told me there was an opening at Coolidge Police Department for a dispatcher. And I said, okay, I got the application. I went by the Coolidge PD, picked up the application and got it completed, and I took it back. Okay, I did my part and I headed back to Phoenix because I had really planned I was gonna move to San Francisco. I looked up information on San Francisco. That's what I was gonna do. But
Wow.
when I got there, and my money started running low too, and but I got my neighbor that lived next door to my mom. I had left her number as a contact
Okay.
person, and they contacted her, and she was able to find me in because they wanted me to come in for an interview at Coolidge Police Department. Went to Coolidge PD. They hired me. I was there for a year and a half before I went to Pinell County Sheriff's Office. Yeah,
Okay.
I was a dispatcher there, and believe it or not, that's where I made my first arrest. Because when you're hired there, everybody was a commissioned officer, and
Wow.
where the police department was, right across the street was Safeway, and a young lady was caught shoplifting at Safeway, and I was the only female on duty at the time. So the officer walked over with me, and I placed her under arrest and brought her.
How does that feel, having being able to?
It was just my job. That's the way I felt it at the time. It was my responsibility, and I did it. I carried it out.
Did
Yeah.
you talk to her, like, just knowing who you are, give her any what we would call TED Talks?
Not at that time.
Okay,
No.
Miss Gussie, when you heard they were hiring, were you intimidated? Were you afraid to apply, thinking, well, we're, it's still, racially, it could still be an issue? Or did you think, you know what, I got the skills, I got the brains, I
Hmm.
got what it takes for this job, so I'm not gonna keep myself from applying, or I'm not gonna down talk myself. I know I got what it takes. If they want to be that way, we're gonna find out, because I'm gonna go apply. What made that go getter in you? What was it? How did you feel when you applied?
When I applied, I really didn't expect to be hired.
Okay.
But when they called me in for the interview, well, when I picked up application, one young lady was on duty, and when I completed the application and took it back, a different one was on duty, and they both was impressed. And they talked with the chief, and so
Wow.
that's why they called me in for an interview because
Bingo.
yes.
Okay. So they even showed you,
Yeah.
they looked at your merits. They weren't
Hmm.
just,
Right. Yeah. Because when I dropped it off, I thought, okay, this is it.
can you tell me, once you did get your divorce, how, and you started working as a public figure, for the government and the city, and then the sheriff's office, a county employee. How did you juggle motherhood and being a working mom?
It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy because at that time my kids was young, and I remember when I was working when I started at the police department where I was living, and there was a family across the street, an elderly family. My two younger boys, I took them to daycare, and my oldest son, they was had a what's that preschool in Randolph. What I do, I take them to drop them off, but the bus hadn't come for my oldest son, so he wait outside at the gate, and this lady across the street would look after him.
Wow.
While yeah, it was what they say, it takes a community, it
It
takes a
takes a
village, it
village
takes a
to
village,
raise
yeah.
children.
And she would watch
Hmm.
him until the bus came and picked him up, and it just worked out.
And
But
it worked out.
yes, I was working dispatch and working them different shifts. It wasn't easy at all. And I got to the point to where I had spoke with the supervisors and let them know that I would have to seek another
Okay.
job because I couldn't keep those hours and raise my children. And they eventually changed my position. I went from dispatcher, and that's when I was transferred into detention because they had a day job opening at that time.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that was the city of Phoenix. You were the
No,
dispatcher.
no, that was
It was at the
no,
Pinel.
no. With the city dispatch, that was in Coolidge, and
Okay,
then I went from Coolidge to Pinell County Sheriff's Office.
so you switched government,
Yes, I went. I was at the federal government in Phoenix, and then when I came to Coolidge, I worked for the city of Coolidge,
and
and
then.
then Pinell.
All right, so we're just gonna go on and talk about it. Miss Gussie, can you tell me, what is it? I know that you do volunteer work, and you did 36 years of government work, whether the city, the federal. Okay, and so what was it that made you know, you know what? I've gotten married twice. I'm gonna focus on my career. I'm gonna get. It sounds like you serve the Lord,
Hmm.
and then you did volunteer because you. It's like you gave back to the community,
Hmm.
but actually, I'm not sure how much the community gave to you, but you kept that. You didn't let anything keep you from being and doing all that you could be.
Hmm.
So, um, I know that you have five children, and all five of them are successful,
Hmm.
but four of them serve in the armed forces.
Absolutely.
Okay, what was it that you transferred to them? Was it seeing you work hard and not rely? You could have made excuses. You could have got government assistance.
Hmm.
You could have said, I'm going to raise my children. I'm going to stay home. I don't have a husband. I don't have a babysitter. But like you said, you got a village and you
Hmm.
guys all came together and your dad helped. Is
Mm,
that
yes,
correct?
absolutely.
Okay. And then your faith. Is that what sustained you? Was
Yes,
that the spirit
yes,
and of the Lord that just moved in you and just gave you? So what branch did your children do they serve in?
yes.
And what age group are they?
My daughter, she when she graduated from high school, she went to college for a semester, and her thing was, oh, I had enough of school, so she joined the military. Even today, she's still taking classes, and she's what 60, just turned 60.
Wow,
So that
my
just shows
age.
you.
I could be your daughter.
Yes, and then when she came home on leave, she talked my two middle boys into
Wow.
joining the
And they
military.
did.
Because when I had four kids, see, when I turned 18, I wanted to go to the military. And of course, your parents, my mom had the last say.
Right,
Even
right.
back then,
Hmm.
whatever they say, that was it.
That's
And she
right.
told me, ain't no daughter of mine going to no.
Yeah.
So I didn't
Hmm.
go, and I say, okay, if I had kids, I want them to go. And I had the four, and I thought I had an Army, Navy,
Wow.
Marine, and Air Force, but it didn't work that way because when my daughter came back from leave from the army, she talked my two youngest boys into going joining the army. But my oldest son, he joined the Navy, and right today his son is in the Navy.
Wow. So it
Yes,
just keeps on going.
yes, yes,
So you
yes.
didn't get to go, but look at your
Yeah, I
children went.
know. That's
And what is your baby girl doing? What does she do?
she's working in home. She's working with consumer cellular.
Oh, that's a
She's
good
got those two.
customer service.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
yes.
So Miss Gussie, how many grandchildren do you have?
You have 12 plus three.
Great.
Because no, not well. I got great grandchildren, but I have my first daughter-in-law when she and my son divorced, and she remarried, and they have twins, and I'm their grandma. I'm Grandma Gussie because we was raised up together. Because she had my first two grandchildren, and so
Okay.
then later she had the children by the new husband,
Oh,
and they
okay.
all just
One big
grandma.
family.
Yes,
So
yes.
I know we got to wrap this up, but Miss Gussie, tell me what moments stand out as your proudest moments as a mom raising five successful children on your own, of course, with the help of the Lord and the community of friends and
Hmm.
family. And can you tell me what's your proudest moments as an employee?
Oh, I accomplished a lot while I was employed at the sheriff's office because I was always, whenever something new came up, just like when they started the first computer division,
Okay.
I had worked, when I worked with the federal government, I worked in computers. So I was the first one assigned for the computer division with Pinell County Sheriff's Office.
Were you the first African American woman?
The first ever. I was African American, but I was the first ever. I was the first person ever assigned to the computer division in at Pinell County
Wow.
Sheriff's Office. Yeah,
Wow.
and I did volunteer with the Special Olympics. And when they started the truck convoy, it's a fundraiser for Special Olympics. I was the first one in Pinell County to coordinate the truck convoy. Also, I volunteered with the American Red Cross. I was disaster chairman for 10 years. And,
Wow.
and I just love giving of myself. I really do.
36 years.
36 years, yes, at
At
Pinell County, yeah. And
Pinell
seven
County.
sheriffs.
And you went through 7 sheriffs.
7 sheriffs.
And can you tell me, not just to African American women, because you're motivating me. What what would how what would you what advice would you give to young women of color and young women period nowadays, when those that have children especially, and that are single moms, and that are trying to juggle work and school and thinking they can't do both, and raise work and raise their children?
And one thing that I learned is you just have to, you don't have to force the issue. Allow it to come to you, because if you trust in God, have faith, He will work it out for you. He will open those doors for you, because there was areas that I never would have thought about, but He opened a door and people come to me. Even now they come to me. They have this organization, this coalition. They want me to be on the board. Just
Okay.
the Lord would open doors for you. Just have faith and trust in Him, and don't push the issue. And whatever you do, keep your personal feelings out of it. If you're in
Mm,
in a professional
that was my
environment,
next question.
you just approach it as a professional, and that's it. You just don't get too personal.
What advice would you give? Because it would be nice to say racism was gone, but so when those times do come, especially to young African American women in leadership, how should they handle adversity really quick? Because I know we gotta wrap it up.
I know, because you just like I say, you just can't always speak your peace. You hold your peace. And if you know your Bible, He say you hold your peace and I'll fight your battle.
Amen.
Allow Him to do it
Amen.
for you, and allow God to lead you, and He will never, ever guide you wrong.
Amen. And you're not stopping. You're still
I'm
volunteering,
still
and you
volunteering.
do recycling.
Yes,
Because
I
I'm
do.
gonna start making sure. I told my daughter to start saving. Well, who do you give that to when
that's
we
that's
give it
for
to you?
the church.
For the church?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And
Yes.
what is the name of your church here in
New
Coolidge?
Hope Community
New
Church of
Hope
God in
Community.
Christ.
Well, my bishop. When I say this name, what comes to mind? And I'll tell you what he said about you, Bishop Vince Smith. Do you know him?
Absolutely. When I retired and my daughter was deployed, I went to Iowa. But those 2 years prior to going to Iowa, I attended his Bible study for 2 solid
Okay.
years every week. I just loved his teaching. I enjoyed him. And even now, I support him with the Martin Luther King
Yes, it
celebration.
was
Yes, I'm a part
beautiful.
of that committee, and I just love working with him also.
Okay, and what about our mayor here? Mayor John.
Mayor John Thompson.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
he said some really neat things. And
Yeah, he and I go back also, because for I worked at the sheriff's office and he worked with adult probation. So our
mhm.
paths crossed. And
Oh.
for a year, I worked when they started the intensive probation. I worked
Mhm.
with intensive probation. So I became familiar with all the probation officers. Even after that, we came close, and by being in Coolidge, we came reconnected. And now being the mayor, and I attend the biweekly city council meetings. So
I'm gonna start attending
I see
those.
him on a regular basis.
That's
I love him
awesome.
and I respect him so much. Yes.
You stayed level headed through all this because you're so well thought of. What dreams do you still have? Because you're still going. You got it in you.
I have two hobbies. One is photography. I like to take pictures, and not necessarily of things. I do things, but I do take pictures of people. And my
Okay.
second is I write poetry, and I intend to, hey, put it together, make a
All
book.
right. All
Yeah,
right. Well, I
make a
can't
book
wait
about
to see
poetry.
that.
Yeah.
And Miss Gussie, what do you want with this legacy you have built here? When you think in the future, what do you want to be remembered by? What do you want people to think when they hear the name Gussie Taylor?
Well, I never really gave that any thought, but I just hope that when my children and their children, they grow up, just like I do about my dad. My dad, everybody knew him as Dadia. And you say Dadia, only the people in this area would know who you're talking about. But I just, when they say Gussie Taylor, everybody remember, oh, yeah. And one short story here, I was, I had a flat tire, a nail in a tire, and I went to the tire shop and I drove up and this young man was there getting a tire fixed and he say, oh, say, you're Frenchie Taylor's mom. I say, yes. Oh, how long was you at the sheriff department? Everybody knew me.
Yeah, you are well known here. You're a star. You see, this show is called Stars in the City because you are an extraordinary community person, resident. You just have done so much and made such an impact here. Miss Gussie, I wish I'm not out of questions, but I'm out of time. And I can't thank you enough. And ladies and gentlemen, this is Miss Gussie Taylor, who has been a change agent here in Coolidge. And she is to let you know, if she did it, we can do it too.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, Miss Gussie, what would you like to say in closing?
I appreciate this time, and I just hope you take what I said as something you can achieve, something you've been thinking about, and hey, it can happen. You can make it happen. Just follow your dreams. Just don't give up. Don't give up.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I am now.
I give them the instructions on how to find you, or whatever you said at the beginning from your channel.
Okay, and yes, when you see this, it will be available. You'll be able to go to Instagram, Stars in the City. Again, I'm your host, Denise, and we are new. Please like and subscribe, and hit that subscribe button, and please like, because this is just the beginning. I don't know that I'm going to have another interview this good, but I want you to know that we want you to be known to the world. So Stars in the City will be coming to you. We ask that you reach out to us, and if you enjoyed this today, please put your comments in the comment section. And if they're for me, I'll answer. If they're for Miss Gussie, I'll get them to you. And do you have a Facebook?
Yes.
What is it?
Gussie Taylor.
Gussie Taylor in Coolidge, Arizona. And you'll find Stars in the City on Facebook as well. I want to thank you guys again, and we'll be seeing you soon. I might be in your city. Thank you. Bye.
Denise Abelard.